Sean, we like to start every episode giving a little story about the best beer that we had in the past week.
All right.
It doesn't have to be anything exciting. Could just be a special moment you had with the beer. I know you've had some this past weekend at the Motor Speedway.
I know you did too, Adam.
I drank a lot of good beers at the Motor Speedway.
On the bricks, though.
Oh, yeah. I shotgunned a PBR on the bricks.
Nice.
Sprayed beer all over a 4-year-old kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Even better.
You gotta expect that when you go to the track. I mean, I think.
He's got to grow up sometime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, trial by fire on that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, these beers, I think we'll get into, but had a really unique experience at the track. Really had some unique opportunities to spend a lot of time on the track. And so, yes, I had a Hinchtown Hammer Down on the bricks myself. And
Nice.
in pit row. So it's a beer that I drink all the time, really like, but just the experience tied in with the beer
Right.
was definitely the best experience in beer I had this week.
Nice.
Good one.
Sarah?
I went to Grand Junction, and this is really, really good, but I'm going back to like last week. So
What is this?
Oh,
for-
the bricks.
Okay,
by
gotcha.
Flat 12, yes. I went to Grand Junction and had their Maibach and their ESB, really good. And then I mixed them and took it in a growler to the track and came up with a little name. It's called the Underground Junction because it's like a combination of the names. It's really good.
I dig it.
It's nice.
What
It's
growler
tasty.
did you take to the track?
Oh, it was one of those Britex or
Oh, yeah, you
the
had like
insulated ones.
Yeah.
How did your cooler work out for you?
Oh, man. You didn't see it, but for the past like month and a half, REI has on sale these backpack coolers that hold 24 cans plus ice.
Nice.
And they're normally $60-$70 and they're on sale for $23. So people in my beer group were talking about them for Dark Lord Day. And so I was like, well, this would be perfect for the Speedway. So I snagged one and it worked perfectly.
Really?
Oh, man. Yeah. It wasn't uncomfortable or like burdensome at all. It was so much better than like trying to lug 2 coolers in hands or over the shoulders. Yeah.
My
Highly
husband
recommended.
said he got something like similar called because after I listened to that podcast, I sent him the cooler. He's like, I had something similar to that. It was called the Track Pack, and it was a piece of shit. And I was like, well, REI is a pretty reputable,
this one,
company.
This one's awesome, and it's great because the cooler on the inside is separate from the backpack, so like you can take it out. But then there's another bag around the cooler so that if ice gets leaking out somewhere, it doesn't start dripping all down your back.
Nice.
Which is very nice.
Good product review right there.
Yeah. So REI, if you're listening, send me more.
Yeah, send us money. We'll sponsor you, or you can be a sponsor, and we'll talk about you all the time.
Definitely.
All the time.
Definitely. All right. So we're joined today. That third mysterious voice you hear, or if you were watching on YouTube, that you see. Yep, there he is. Sean Mannahan of Flat 12. I'm not even sure what your title really is. Brewmaster. Director of Quality Control. You're a man of many hats.
Many hats.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get confused myself.
Understandably, yeah.
Official title, I'm the Director of Brewery Operations.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for being here today.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's always great to have a guest on here.
Trying to figure out my computer.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's all right. Sarah's just going to take a break. Yeah. So it's the month of May, which we all know is a very important time for the people of Indiana, what with the Indianapolis 500 and everything that goes on at the Speedway. It's the 1 month where our IndyCar drivers, really get like an elevated status as Indiana celebrities, even if they're from all over the world. You and Flat 12 have had a special relationship for the past couple of years with one James Hinchcliffe, and now brewing 2 beers with him. One that includes his name, the Hinchtown Hammer Down. How did that relationship come about? Like, how did you get linked up with him? How did he end up at your brewery?
Actually, the relationship with James started before I was at Flat 12. So luckily, I kind of was grandfathered into this really nice relationship. We've been producing it in pretty high volume, I think, for the past 4 years now. And in 2011, James was Rookie of the Year in IndyCar. And Flat 12 is named after an engine, and we are named after an engine in Indianapolis. So it was this natural tie to bring in a racer, race car driver. So we've been doing the Hinchtown, like I said, for about 4 years now. But the opportunity to do the bricks came up. James did interview, I think, with Maxim Magazine, and he said,
Ooh,
I really
Maxim.
want to do an IPA. They were talking about the Pilsner.
Interesting that they asked him about beer too.
Oh, yeah. You know, not a lot of drivers. I don't think any have their own beer outside of James. So
No,
it's
I can't
always
think
a
of,
topic of conversation.
Right.
Alex Tagliani has energy cookies, so that's something. So
Yeah.
not as cool as beer, though.
You can
Sorry.
wash it down with a beer.
Ed Carpenter drives the Fuzzy's vodka car.
That is true.
That is true.
Actually, Newgarden does, but he doesn't even drink. So
What?
I know.
That's weird.
I know.
That-
Anyway, please proceed.
Anyway,
with your...
I saw him say this, and so as we're getting ramped up for this year, and Hinch is back after his bad accident last year, said, "Hey man, why don't you come in and let's do something for the 100th running? It's an opportunity that I would hate to miss. You already want to do something." So then the wheels got turning on this, the Bricks collaboration. Probably started talking about it in February. Very time sensitive to get it out for May.
Yeah.
So we had it ready by Rev, and we're almost out of it already.
Now tell us a little bit about the Bricks. It's a red IPA, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Red on purpose because of the bricks, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
The conversation with James, we knew we were going to do an IPA, so we wanted to do 100 IBUs. We wanted to use Centennial. A lot of this really started developing.
Oh, 100
so
IBUs. I didn't even notice that.
It is
Genius.
as
all coming
gimmicky
together.
as you could possibly get. So Brick Red. We hadn't Flat 12. We haven't done a red IPA, so
Right.
then to give it a shot and pay homage to the most famous yard in the world, I would say. So it's 6.4% because Flat 12 is 6.4 miles away from the track.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
This is
Centennial
so
hops,
hokey.
100.
Yeah.
It is.
I love it. I love it.
Sarah, real quick, who's coming out of the bottoms up today?
That is Sun King's Indians lager.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Bottoms Up always sponsors us. Thank you so much. Awesome system.
It is that time of year as well for Indians baseball.
Oh. Have you been to a game yet?
Not yet, no.
No.
I got invited with some of the Nuvo people. But
I love going.
Yeah.
You can't beat what is it, $7 ticket.
yeah,
know.
it's great.
It's-
I want to do like the Captain Morgan Cove.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of these days. It's like $35, but then it gives you
You get a drink with it.
it gives you like $25 or so towards like food and drinks, and you get table service.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
It's worth it.
totally worth it. Yeah.
I always feel like a big spender. I take my wife, so we're gonna get the 2 tickets. The best 2 tickets you can give me, sir. $30.
30. I guess that will do.
Do you take cash?
No, one of the things I like, especially having a kid, which, you will soon.
It's coming.
Yeah. I like that they have, it's a beautiful stadium and they have the grass seating, which is really great because then my daughter can just like run around and make friends and
Right.
play, and you can bring in food and all kinds of stuff.
You can bring in
So-
food?
Yeah, you can bring your own food in to the grass if you're sitting in the lawn.
To the grass? Okay.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
Nice. I'm just gonna bring in like ribs one day. And just have like
go all
just
out.
have a barbecue.
Bring a whole spread.
Yeah. Lay out a picnic blanket.
Oh my gosh. So speaking of a spread, the first year that we went to the Grand Prix, there were some people sitting in front of us that brought in sushi, and it was hot out, you guys.
Oh, yeah.
It was hot. And they brought in hummus and olives, and they brought in glass bottles of Stella. I'm like, this is not Formula One. Like,
Who are these
what
people?
are you doing? This is Indiana. We're
I
not
can get
fancy
like
that.
the hummus a little bit because it's like
Yeah.
a snack food, but
Yeah,
like
but
sushi.
Sushi.
Yeah,
That doesn't travel well.
When I think about a hot day at the speedway, nothing gets my stomach growing like sushi.
Like raw fish.
Yeah, raw fish, and then Stella.
Especially, about halfway through the race when there's a couple pieces left.
Yeah,
I don't know who'd risk that one.
yeah. If you've been there for a while, it's been out in the sun. Oh, it probably won't be raw anymore.
No, probably not.
No, cooked up.
Usually we talk and I'm like, I'm hungry. And now I'm like, I'm not.
No,
hungry.
not anymore.
I'm not hungry right now.
Ugh.
It's disgusting.
Where we sit for the Grand Prix, it's on the back end of the track, right out of that first straightaway.
Okay.
So through like turn 6 or whatever, on the back end, and there's a few food stands like lemonade, and then you get the big like turkey legs and everything, and then there's an Asian food stand where they have like chicken fried rice, egg rolls, and crab rangoons. I really want to try an Indianapolis Motor Speedway Crab Rangoon. I can't imagine the amount of poison that's in those things.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get there early.
Yeah,
you want
the fresh crab rangoon.
End of the day.
You want to wash it down with some vodka, like some strong, maybe Everclear.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to
kill all of it.
Kill all of that out.
Kill myself while we're at it. Yeah. So, okay, back to the beer. After Sarah distracted us.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So what's been the response so far to the bricks? It's been out a few weeks now, right?
Yeah, we brought it out, maybe 2 weeks ago. Really kick off May, the day before Rev, so really getting into the feel of Indy in May. And we produced 620 gallons of this. As it stands now, we've probably moved through 85% in the past 2 weeks. So
wow.
The reception has been very good.
It's because it's damn good.
And you'll probably see a big final spike right before the race too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think.
Banking on it.
You think you'll have any left?
I'm going to hold back some for that week leading up to the race, just to make sure. There's a lot of interest from people. You know, James he's such a good guy. He's such a good racer. He's got a lot of fans all over. So the people coming in for the 100th, there's a lot of interest on, getting in and trying to get a six-pack while they can.
Right.
So I'd like to
Are you gonna
show them some love and make sure I keep some around.
Make sure, are you gonna just have it available in the tap room, like at the brewery, or are you gonna? Because wasn't it distributed to liquor stores?
Yeah, Big Red Liquors is the only liquor store that's getting some. We're gonna be dropping that off this week in preparation for the 100th. But I guess right now I don't know exactly where it's at. I know it's Big Red's close to the track, but your best bet is going to be going to the brewery.
Coming into the brewery, yeah. So if you've missed it since its release, you'll definitely want to head into Flat 12 the week of the 500 and get a taste of the bricks, because I love that. I love that beer. It's really good. Yeah, it's got a great malt build to it. It's very malt forward. Which is nice in this day and age of big, like, piney, juicy IPAs, to have an IPA that's a little different.
Yeah. 100 IBUs too. The goal of a brewer is always to find that balance.
Yeah.
And so at 100 IBUs, I think, I guess I have a bias to it, but I think it is very well balanced, and exactly like you said, the malt character that's coming out of there. This being a unique beer for us brewing, we put a lot of different ingredients into it, so it definitely shines. A lot of Canadian malt. James is Canadian, so that's another gimmicky thing that we put in there. And then got to experiment with some different malts that we don't typically use to try to hit this red, brick red color.
So, and the 6.4%, I mean, that's pretty good, especially for an IPA, taking an IPA out to the track, unless you have a session IPA, that's a good track beer for sure. And so you guys think you'll do that, years going forward, or is this just the 100th running kind of one-off?
Well, I think in talking with James, it was a really good experience. He actually came in and, he was doing the brewing. He was putting the hops in. I think he had a really good time. And
he was canning too, I saw.
He was canning the Hinch that same day.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a nice program to keep going. Definitely make a lot more of the Hinchtown. And that beer flies too.
Yeah.
And I like having, this 100 IBU, 6.5% red IPA, and a Pilsner. It's going to get everybody. And so, I would definitely like to explore that opportunity next year.
How has Hinch been as a partner with the brewery and yourself, working one-on-one on building these beers with him and through the brewing process and canning with him? What's he been like through all of that?
And you kind of talked about this before we got rolling. He's so busy, being a driver and definitely in May, but he's been a dream to work with. Despite his busy schedule, he's able to make some time to come into the brewery. And also, it's kind of a reprieve for him. I would hope for him to come in and just not think about racing for a couple hours. Right. And so,
except for Mario Kart.
Except for Mario Kart. He needs to work on his Mario Kart. But bringing him in, getting him away from a lot of these questions about driving and giving him the chance to talk to people that are professionals in something else. And, I don't think he's brewed very much before. Right. He picked up on it pretty quickly. If racing doesn't work out, I'd definitely give him a job. But yeah, it's a different thing for him.
Right. Yeah. It's probably, from his standpoint, it's probably nice to have something different to talk about. going around an oval track, making 4 left turns, like talking, like there's only so much you can really talk about that.
Right.
And now he has, a beer with his name and face on it in the racing capital of the world. And it's just something that's a little different that he can highlight now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being from up in Canada, we've actually sent a fair amount of Hinch down up to Canada.
Oh, yeah.
He's got fans all over the place. So
Yeah.
there's a big drive for it. It's been, I think, mutually beneficial across the board.
Nice. So let's talk about you a little bit.
All right.
Yeah. You've been with Flat 12 now, how many years?
3?
3? Yeah.
3, like 2.5.
Yeah.
3.
And you came from Peoples. That's right.
started
Peoples in
Peoples.
Lafayette. So, where did you get your background in brewing from? When did you start brewing? What got you into craft beer? What's your origin story, Sean?
Well, Adam, let me tell you. I went to school at Purdue for law. I was a pre-law major there.
Boiler up.
Heck yeah. And then...
Yeah, double middle fingers from our producer, Brad.
Yeah, that's nice. It's split 50-50. That's okay.
Yeah.
But in doing my internship there, we would go out and buy a 6-pack of beer and then talk about these cases kind of after hours. And I'd finally turned 21, had the ability to go in and buy something different. I thought there was only Keystone or Busch. I can't believe there's more beers. So I got an Alpha King, and the entire meeting, all I could think about was the Alpha King. Screw the cases, screw anything else.
Yeah.
Why is this beer so different than everything else?
That's a damn good beer, too.
It was delicious. I'll be honest, it definitely took me by surprise. I'm a huge fan of Alpha King now, but that day, I choked them all down. Totally different. I had to experience it. And so from there, I just really started reading. And the way I think a lot of brewers would say they got into it, it's an interesting hobby. And then kind of becomes your passion.
Right.
And then you're just obsessed. And you just go down this rabbit hole. So right when I graduated, Peoples opened up. And I went in and I just tried to do everything I could, keep moving up. So I did about everything you could possibly do at Peoples before I started brewing there. And then I was the head brewer there for about 3.5 years before I left and came down to Peoples. So it's all been such a whirlwind.
Yeah.
All I know is I was going to school at Purdue at one point, and now here I am, talking with you guys. Over some beer.
I think I met you actually at maybe a football game or something. Were you guys serving in the beer garden at that time when you were still up there?
Yeah, I think right towards the end, maybe that last season.
Yeah, I think I'd met you up there, but I'm surprised you don't remember me, but I won't hold it against you. So I read, we're friends on Facebook, and we're pretty much best friends.
Besties.
So I read online that your mom kind of got you into beer, like on Mother's Day. Did you say something about your mom? Like, is she a big beer drinker, or?
Not really.
No.
But also she, little kid, started rolling a baseball around, and so baseball was my first obsession. Till I was no longer good enough to hang and not play. And I turned 21. Kind of told her I was into craft beer, and so Christmas after that 21st birthday, she got me a 6-pack of mixed beers, which then even further just blew my mind. You can buy one bottle at a time. Oh man,
you can build your own 6-pack, yeah.
And so she really, she's been very supportive. At first you graduate college and you tell your parents, hey, I'm gonna not go to law school, and I'm gonna brew beer. It did take them a little bit to really get into it, but now they own a craft beer joint up in Monticello.
Oh, nice.
They've really got into it. It's called The Scoreboard.
The Scoreboard. Okay, check them out.
Best craft beer in White County.
White County.
It's Indiana Beach. You go up there for the beach.
Definitely.
You grab yourself a pie.
There's
and
more
beer.
than corn in Indiana. There's good craft beer too.
She's been very supportive, and she did kind of keep my interest going, even though she kept telling me you can always go back to law school.
Right.
If this doesn't work,
you can always go spend tens of thousands of dollars at law school if you
exactly.
want to. Yeah.
You're not already in debt enough.
But she just encouraged you to follow whatever you wanted to do, so that's cool.
Yeah, and then now Dad's way into beer. The holiday's been very nice.
Yeah, I bet they have.
I wish I could
a lot
get
of
my
beer.
parents into beer like that. It's just very bland in my
Yeah.
house. Yeah.
Sorry.
There's like Yingling sitting there that's been there for like 3 years.
Aged. It's nice.
Aged, yeah.
The vintage
cellared,
amber lager.
Cellared in a can.
Yeah, more
Is
like-
it bottled or canned?
They had a little mix of both.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, variety.
Variety. I know. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. So I have to bring the beer to the family functions.
Someone's got to do it.
I know.
Yeah, I
Thank
fall
God
into that
they
role
have
too.
you.
They're so lucky they have me.
You're so blessed.
Yeah. And so you mentioned your dad. You're about to become a dad, right?
Yeah.
I am.
That's
not
scary.
too long. It's I think I'm ready.
You're never ready.
But first kid, and he's really due any minute.
Yeah.
Due date is the 31st. So unfortunately, I had a privilege to go to the Grand Prix, but
Oh yeah. Probably not going to hit the 500.
I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the 500. But couldn't be more happy.
So, like, what are you most excited about being a dad? Like, what are you looking forward to the most? I mean, you're having a son, so that's kind of cool.
I think
boy
first
bonding thing.
I'm excited for my wife not to be pregnant anymore.
Yeah, I bet she's excited too.
There's been a lot of cleaning and a lot of moving things around. But I'm looking forward to the chance to, go through the same things that I went through with my dad. And you start thinking, oh, when's your first memory? And it's like, oh yeah, maybe it's like 3 or 4, and my dad was whistling, and I was able to squeak out my first whistle.
Oh,
nice.
And I always remember that.
Now that you bring that up, I remember my first whistle too. It was a very exciting day, like standing like right by the washing and dryer, trying to whistle and.
Yeah, and I think even
Big
if
deal.
you ask any of the guys at work, I whistle all the time. So it's a very important step in my life, and I'm looking forward to sharing that.
Yeah, the whistles. What are you the most terrified about?
Just being a dad in general.
Yeah.
I'm not positive I can take care of myself still at this point in my life. Luckily, my wife's great. So I think together we'll be good, and I'm just going to follow her lead. And
There you go.
she'll be asking a lot on Google a lot.
Yeah,
Google
thank God
questions.
for Google.
God,
Yeah.
thank God, I don't think I could do
Don't
it.
freak yourself out too much with Google, though. Everyone's got their own opinions about stuff. But I would say, yes, definitely follow her lead because moms are very adamant about how things get done and the right way. We do it the right way. Don't try and do it your way
Don't
because you're
question
going to
it.
mess it up.
Yeah.
Don't.
She is, or he's going to be hers for the first 3 years.
Then
And then,
maybe you'll
I'm
get
going
a
to be the
shot.
fun dad. I'm just going to be
Yeah.
like the maintenance man for a while. And then,
Yeah. The guy that fixes things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bathing man. I don't know. We'll see.
All
She
the fun
takes care of
stuff.
me, so I
All
think
the
he's
fun
good.
stuff. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy for you.
Yes, very much.
All right.
Congratulations.
We used to do a written segment on IndianaOnTap.com. Sarah would do it. In-person interviews with people within the craft beer community.
Yes, Easy did one with me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read it.
She did one with Easy,
It's a lot
with
about the Muppets.
Tony and Will at Tow Yard.
Brandon at Redemption.
Brandon at Redemption, one of the head of the kitchen at Chili Water.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not a typical interview series. We like to ask, she likes to ask like sort of off the cuff, like silly questions.
Okay.
Which we think you're perfect for. And so Sarah's going to grill you right now.
All right. I think
Be
I can handle
prepared.
this.
Yeah.
Prepare to be grilled. Okay, so if you could own an exotic animal, what would it be? And why?
It would be a Gavin Viper.
What is that? That was a quick answer, by
Yeah,
the way.
that was.
I'm impressed.
I was
blown
kind
away.
of ready. Before I was in brewing and all through college, I worked at an exotic pet shop.
Oh, the
Really?
one.
Yeah.
Wait, in Monticello or in Lafayette?
in
'Cause
Lafayette, I worked at Aquarium World.
Okay, yes, I'm familiar with that place.
And I've had several snakes in my life. Gavin Vipers, they're beautiful. They got one at the zoo if you want to
Okay.
go check it out.
Okay.
But it would definitely be a Gavin Viper.
Why?
And they just look awesome. They're dangerous, I guess. Not that I would want to play with it. It's very venomous, but
Where
they
would
just
you
look
keep
really
it?
cool.
Like with a baby in the house? I mean,
I get a room for them maybe.
oh, okay.
Leave them in the tub. pull
Yeah,
'em out,
that's right.
Except
Yeah.
for bathing time, then you would need to
He
take
could
him
be
out.
a guard snake. I don't know.
Okay. Nice.
All right, a Gavin Viper.
So, if you were a superhero, what would your superhero name be?
Ooh, it would be Dr. Hoppenstein.
Dr. Hopkins. Yeah, that's your Twitter handle.
Yeah.
But I don't, superhero. I mean, I appreciate the thought that I would be the hero. I've always considered myself more of a villain. And so, Dr. Hoppenstein, I think I'd be a good villain.
You did play Malt Got To or Moo Got To very well.
Yeah.
At the
Thank
fashion show.
Yeah, you
That was
did
a lot of fun.
very well with that.
Yeah, he really did.
Just dark eyes. Man.
And I'm surprised the amount of people, it's a small industry.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are some of my best friends I've known for the longest time. Nobody recognized me.
You
So
did
then the
such a
makeup
great
department is
job.
also
Wow,
very
that
good.
is impressive.
It took
Yeah.
them a minute to catch on. But
That is impressive.
Man, if you guys haven't seen pictures from the event, you need to go back, check out Nuvo, look at the slideshow, and check out pictures of Mannahan playing Malt Got To.
Yeah, and that's at the Indiana's Next
Yeah,
Top Model
Next
show.
Top Model,
if you
yeah.
missed it,
It was killer.
That was a great event, by the way. I'm
Oh,
looking
I'm
forward to
so
next year
glad
already.
you guys had fun. Like it was, you can tell it's a great event if the breweries have fun. You know what I mean?
That's
So-
exactly right.
So yeah, I know they all had fun. What do you wear to bed?
Same thing I always have: basketball shorts and a t-shirt.
Okay. Do you wear socks? To
You
bed?
know,
No.
I start with the socks on, but then the sheet and movement kind of slowly peels them off my foot, and then they're just stuck at the end of the bed.
yeah,
Okay.
I am a staunch no sock wearer in bed.
Staunch.
Can't- yeah,
I
can
have
do
to
it?
wear socks.
Can't do it.
Is
no.
it the toe constriction?
A little bit, yeah. I like feeling like the cold sheets on the skin. Like
That's the
it's weird. Yeah, the feet get sweaty. Yeah, no, I do not wear socks in bed. And if you do, then I don't see how we could be friends.
Right now I'm in a no
So
sock
Cynthia
season.
must not wear socks to bed.
No.
No. Okay.
There's always a fresh pair too.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to put that in there. Fresh pair of socks.
Not that you didn't wear them through the day and then wear them in
right.
bed.
Right.
Yeah, that would be gross.
More of like the fluffy, soft kind too.
Okay.
Especially in winter.
Yeah.
So if you weren't a brewer, what would you do? What would you want to do if you weren't a brewer?
I always.
You don't have to say be a lawyer to impress your parents.
No,
It's
I
okay.
definitely don't want to do that. I know enough attorneys now. I don't want to do that. But growing up, like I said, I played baseball, I was a catcher. Growing up, I never wanted to be like a professional catcher. I never wanted to start, and have any of those responsibilities. I wanted to be paid league minimum and catch in the bullpen.
Yeah, the bullpen catcher is like
Travel around,
the
play some of
best
the
job anywhere in any field. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you will have just have had a baby, so you probably can't come. But June 11th, we're doing brews in the bullpen down in, I don't know, some southern city.
It's where they film the League
Bombers.
of Their Own.
Yes, we're doing
Oh,
a craft beer
nice.
tasting down there for a baseball game. So what do you want to do when you retire? Like, what's your dream when you retire? What do you want to do?
I don't think in this industry a lot of people ever plan on retiring. I think I can see myself being exactly like Sir John Hill and
Lord Hill.
have my own spot someday and boss people around and tour around and go to some other breweries and just be John Hill. That's what I want to do when I retire.
You want to be
I
John
wanna
Hill
be John
when
Hill.
you grow up?
Yeah, when I grow up.
Okay.
That's a
These
good
days.
goal. I think
Yeah.
I want to be John Hill when I grow up.
He is pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's got a sweet life. All right, so that's that for Buzzed In.
Yes,
this time
thank you
around.
for answering this question.
Oh, those
Yeah.
are easy. I thought I was a little nervous. Those are easy.
Everyone gets so nervous.
Real quick, I want to revisit the superhero name.
Yes.
Okay, so Dr. Hoppenstein, what would your superpower be?
Ooh, superpower. What I've experienced now in my current job is I delegate more than anything. So I would still probably be the mad scientist creating these legions of monsters
yeah, okay.
and sending them to do my bidding. So really I wouldn't have a power.
A Lex Luthor type bad guy.
Yes.
So pretty much like your role for Halloween at the haunted brewery,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. Very much like that.
So you do really well at acting and things like that. Is that something you were into in high school that you did, or just growing up? Did you like to act, or
I was quite the thespian.
really
Ooh.
thespian, guys,
I
with a TH?
I had my senior year I had the lead in the play, The Nitwits,
Okay.
which was fun, and then I had the lead in the musical of Little Abner.
You sing?
I used to.
Oh,
Oh man,
Wasn't very good, but
we could probably get a
Town.
decent barbershop quartet going.
I think we do. I wanted to start.
Adam can be soprano.
I wanted to start a brewers kind of choir.
Oh my
type
God!
thing.
Please do that, and you can perform at our tasting society events.
Call it the IBUs.
I'm
Indie brewers singing in unison.
Oh my God!
I am so
My
into this already.
If this doesn't happen, my life will not be complete. This has got to happen.
Yeah, I've been working with some of these guys trying to put it together. Problem is, not a lot of these guys can sing. They're good brewers. I really got to hold my standards high, though.
Yeah,
I'm
true.
not- So it's in the works. It's in the
Okay.
works.
All
Okay.
right. Keep us posted on this, please.
And we'll
Yeah,
do.
if you need a baritone,
Okay.
yeah,
We could probably
you're
do that.
looking at him.
Are you like a singer guy? Or are you like a scat kind of?
Oh no, I can sing.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
can
right.
sing.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll keep you on the list.
The dean of the School of Music at IU asked why I didn't go and study with him.
Oh
I was in high school.
wow!
Whoa.
Yeah.
I think Adam needs to be on your team.
Okay.
He brews,
That's true.
You
Indie
what
brewer.
what did you recently brew?
I
saw.
did, yeah. So I put together a recipe with the help of my sister. She's
Sarah.
My sister Sarah. Yeah, she lives out in Virginia Beach, and whenever she's coming here, she's always asking. She always brings me really good Virginia beer, and then anything she ever wants in return is just your standard lighter beers and cream ales. And so finally, this past Christmas, I started introducing her to still lighter beers, but stuff that's a little different. So we gave her creamed corn from Burnham, cans of La Maison from Taxman, just to sort of broaden her horizons a little bit, which she's loved everything that she's had. So I brewed 2 weeks ago, or no, just last week, just a standard cream ale. That when I racked to secondary, I added a pound of fresh roasted coconut.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so it's sitting there now for about 5 or 6 more days, and then we'll bottle it. And I've called it a beer called Sarah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we'll have to wrap some of that up and send it out to her.
Maybe bring it in so I can try some.
Maybe.
That's,
Maybe take
in
one
my
by the
opinion,
brewery
that's really the best way to broaden someone's horizons. The best beer you've ever had is always the beer that you've made.
Right.
So yeah, that's
Definitely.
well done, bro.
Thanks,
Well
man.
done.
Thanks. Yeah.
I bet your house smelled like really good.
Oh my God, yeah. I did the roasted coconut last night, and oh man, yeah, it smelled like a giant pina colada in my apartment.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm excited to try
it was
it.
great. Yeah. All right, so real quick, I want to talk a little bit of news, just a little bit, and it's great that we have somebody from a brewery in here with their perspective, and it's also a little topical. Talking a little bit about branding and labeling, especially because Flat 12 just did a complete rebranding.
Yes.
Yeah. Of their packaging and their logo and everything. Last week, it sort of popped up, and I think it made it all its way all the way to Good Beer Hunting.
Wow, really?
Somebody on Twitter, I believe, was criticizing specifically 18th Street for the label of Sex and Candy, which is I never even realized it until I finally stared at it. It's assuming woman's legs with like some scantily clad
Lingerie,
yeah, garters. And the response from 18th Street was a story in and of itself, but it did bring up another really interesting point. And Sarah, we've talked about on the podcast before women in the industry, especially after the news with everything from Jordan at Black Acre and his Facebook post that
went viral,
yeah, across the country. But this is something that's a little bit of a different issue when people, specifically, women or people that are sensitive to these kinds of things, go into a liquor store. These are things that they can't avoid seeing,
Right.
And so people are made uncomfortable by, labels like that, or labels like Route 2 Brews out of Lowell. When you're coming up, and you're working with your marketing team, and you're, working on names for beers and everything, how much do you keep that in mind? People, how people may portray your branding or your beer labels.
Well, really good question. I've been following along with some of the stuff going on with 18th Street and Route 2, of course, it's here in the industry. But there's definitely a lot that we keep in mind when doing that. Definitely naming a beer. Sometimes Flat 12 has had a lot of innuendo in our names. But the general thought is, when we're making these beers, we want everybody to enjoy them. So even if something like, we're going to do a different red IPA, we don't want to turn anybody off to it by getting too far.
Right.
But that is kind of just how...
Leave it in, Brad. Yeah.
That is just kind of how, we want our brand represented. We do a lot of what we call crossover beers, something like Hinchtown. If you make a name for a Pilsner that's grossly offensive...
Yeah.
Even though it might be a really good beer, nice beer to get people into craft beer, they're going to see this kind of connotation to it and kind of be turned off. So it's definitely not the forefront. Our focus is on beer, but trying to be sensitive overall.
Right.
Just to avoid the situation altogether.
Right. I just completely lost my train of thought.
All right.
No,
blown away.
Here we go. Actually, along with that too, it's I think something has to be said for making the craft beer industry welcoming and inviting to everybody. Especially when you walk into a liquor store, you don't want to be, blasted with these, gross or offensive labels. That's just going to push you away from the craft aisle even more. Yeah, because you can't walk down the aisle without seeing, a man in whitey tighties pooping himself.
Yeah. Against the grain, brown note.
But another thing about this, and we always kind of go for this look, and you mentioned doing the rebranding. A lot of our labels and our logo altogether was changed because the brewery is named after this classic engine.
Yeah.
Right.
And when I look at our beers, I think, Rat Pack. I think this is something Sinatra would like to drink with these looks. And that's just our brand. But you look at still very successful brands like 18th. Three Floyds has Big Titty Assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just part of them. And I think brewers are going to do what they're going to do. We're so invested in this product and we're so invested in this process and industry. That's Three Floyds. I'm not surprised by Big Titty Assassin. I'm not surprised by Sex and Candy. And that's how Drew and Joey and the guys at 18th, that's their brand. And so,
I think there's a way you can do it without being crass or disgusting. Like, Burnham, for instance, their labels are very, very like bathroom humor
It's
centric.
like disturbing what's their logo? It's like it's
disturbing the comfortable, comforting the disturbed.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely a way you can do it that's like funny or like tongue in cheek, without being disgusting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like being a woman as I am.
What?
I know, right? Like for me, it's not offensive because, like Sean said, like that's their brand, and like being familiar with the industry and what kinds of, like how different breweries are trying to portray themselves. I'm not offended by that. Honestly, I'm more offended being a Christian with some of the Three Floyd stuff that they have, like, Dark Lord and, all of that stuff than I am with like Sex and Candy. You know what I mean? Like that's just 18th Street. That's just Three Floyds. That's their brand. And it's not bothersome to me. I mean, I looked at the Sex and Candy label because I hadn't seen it. And I was like, what's the big deal? And I looked at it and I'm like, am I missing something? Is there like, I mean, can you actually see some of like under her lingerie? Like I didn't get it. Like
her vagina. You can say vagina on this podcast.
Her vagina. You couldn't see it. You couldn't see any pubic hair.
And trust me, I looked.
You looked hard, didn't you? No, but I mean, I kept looking at the can and I was like, it's not. I'm like, and like Leg Spreader by Route 2 or Route 2 or however you pronounce it. Tomato. Not offensive to me. Just.
Well, it's kind of like you said, Adam, you really have to look at the Sex and Candy and really look at it.
Yeah.
When I go to a liquor store, this is 18th Street, I'm buying it because they make good product.
Yeah.
It isn't until I'm, maybe sitting here drinking it and just like, wait a minute. You really look at it.
Yeah.
Again, not offensive to me. Those guys are great, and that's just how they're.
That's just
their brand, and that's what keeps them going. It's
and like a lot of those breweries that are, Three Floyds, Burnham, Burnham, Bare Hands, not necessarily Bare Hands, but 18th Street, they all have kind of like in-your-face labels and names for their beers so that, let's face it, most of the beer consumers are men. So it's kind of, they're playing to that. And then you can't be mad about it. But, there was one lady I read online, she was, she had her kid in Whole Foods and she saw her kid saw the can and she had to explain to her what it was. And I'm like, I don't see how that's a big deal.
Yeah, that argument always reminds me of like the parents that send in letters after like an awards show or like the Super Bowl. It's like, how do I explain this to my kid? That's not my job.
Yeah,
you explain it to your kid.
Maybe don't take your kid in the liquor aisle at Whole Foods.
Right.
If you're worried about it.
And I think ultimately the argument boils down to, if it the biggest thing you can do, like along with voicing, like getting your voice out there about things that bother you in this industry is, show your support or lack thereof, using your wallet,
Exactly.
let breweries know that because of, marketing or branding or naming decisions or whatever that they made, they're not going to be receiving your money anymore. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a bigger wake up call than anything. At least I think.
Completely against this kind of, like nanny state.
Yeah.
And you're totally right. If you don't like somebody's branding or some of this artwork or however they convey themselves, that is something that the consumer just needs to kind of deal with on their own.
Right.
Leave the brewery to do what they're going to do.
I think
very successful.
I think they're totally right in speaking out about why it makes them feel uncomfortable. But couple that with pulling your financial support too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that makes the biggest noise.
Yes.
Agreed.
Awesome. And real quick, want to talk about hard soda. Everybody's
the hard soda.
Not favorite beverage? I don't know.
I've had some good ones. I've had some bad ones, but we're getting a local one, right? It's Garden State.
Yeah,
is that
I
what
think
it
so.
is?
Yeah, coming to Indiana.
Yeah.
We're gonna have craft hard sodas. Now, through my research into that side of the industry, they're not really hard sodas. Like that word doesn't really make sense. What they are is they're flavored malt beverages.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you're drinking essentially flavored malt liquor.
Oh, that's not as exciting. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It's not as exciting.
No. Ultimately, though, I would assume that if they package and distribute, we'd see that on shelves.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As a brewer, like what are your feelings about sharing or competing for shelf space with a hard soda company?
I think they're so drastically different. Like you said, the initial when Not Your Father's came out and really started this ball rolling, the thought was, man, it's a beer that tastes like root beer. But you takes one drink of it and go, nope, this is malt liquor that tastes kind of like root beer. I don't see him as really being competition for us. Mm-hmm. I think smaller outfits. Most of these guys are owned by some bigger parent company. Yeah, and so a craft guy coming in is going to have issues of his own. And because it's malt liquor, it's going to be in a different segment of these stores. Right. So I don't think it's really going to affect us. But I'm glad that people are realizing it's a malt liquor. It's like a root beer Zima, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Yeah, and you mentioned these smaller guys actually having being owned by bigger distributors or bigger companies. Like you mentioned, Not Your Father's. Like there's like weird financial ties between them and Pabst.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't. I've brewed one time at your guys' brewery, and so I'm not really familiar with how this all works. So like, is it not brewed? Like, how? I'm gonna sound like a total idiot right now. What's the difference like in the brewing process? Like, is it brewed at all, or is it just like how does malt liquor made? Because I know that they made a malt liquor over at Tow Yard.
Yeah,
with the tap.
A Japanese black malt liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what I like seeing that. So the difference really when you're looking at beer versus malt liquor is beer has to have hops.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And has to be primarily, it's 51% malt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are some rules that kind of govern what a beer is. Mm-hmm. A malt liquor as in like, 40 of something.
King Cobra.
Oh man, Max over at Books and Brews.
Nux Rye up at Peoples. Those kind of follow suit in that there is a little hop. They tend to have a lower IBU, higher ABV. When it's a malt liquor beer. But when you get into some of these other and I even want to change it and say it's probably not malt liquor, it's like a malt beverage.
Yeah, I think their technical name in the industry is flavored malt beverage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that malt beverage, they're not using hops. It's created the same way you got those, Smirnoff Ice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those use malt. They go through a similar process that we go through in brewing.
Sea breeze.
But basically, I was on Facebook the other day, saw a video. Somebody took some pint glasses, put in some Jolly Ranchers, and then filled it up with vodka. All right, you cut that down to 6% from a typical vodka.
Yeah.
Now you're really looking at this malt beverage. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess I don't know exactly the process, but I would say that's how it's different.
So you can't classify it as a beer.
No, yeah, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting to see how they're marketing or how they brand and label themselves going forward if they're trying to wedge themselves into, the craft beer industry.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I mean, it's anytime that Indiana can get, something unique like that, like a hard, even if it's like a hard soda kind of place like that, I think it's cool.
Well, and like ultimately, like if it tastes good, people are going to drink it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, and it's funny. You see the Not Your Father's Root Beer, and then the success of that, and these big launching campaigns, getting people really interested in it. Now I've seen, just in the grocery store aisle, seeing it grow and grow and grow. Like the orange soda,
ginger ale,
all cream soda. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool. It's definitely a new segment of this overall industry. But yeah, it's so different from beer. I made a brown ale about a year ago that I used the same roots that you would make a traditional root beer. So it was, in a sense, a hard root beer.
Yeah.
But like it was brewed. It was an actual beer.
Did it taste similar to root beer then?
Oh yeah, it was delicious. Nice vanilla nuts. Put it in a barrel. Put some of that vanilla like root beer. It was yummy.
But
there's like really no way I could do an orange. I was a 12-gallon batch, kind of like what you did. So it was in and out.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't share the really good stuff. We got an employee tap in the back. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
I should I should come visit more often.
Got to keep the worker bees happy.
Hey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want everyone to have our really good liquid, but sometimes there's only 10 gallons of something that's amazing.
Yeah.
We'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
We'll tell you about it.
It was good.
# build the hype. Yeah. That's right.
Do you think he'll do it again? Or was it just too complicated as far as the vanilla barrel to kind of...
It was tricky, but, with my position, as you say, like director of brewery operations, and I'm kind of stuck in this office and bounce things around. The most brewing that I do is on the small 12-gallon series. Thing. So, I would be interested to do that again. And, we get some of these hard sodas out there. It's something that people come in, see how they like it. It's our pilot system, so if it works out, brew it on the big system, but it's a lot of roots.
You guys have cranked out some great stuff on that little 12-gallon system.
It's so much fun.
We took Charlie and I went to Extreme Beer Fest in Boston back in February, and we did a bottle share with the people across the hall from us in our hotel afterwards. And Charlie brought a bottle of the Pickle Barrel with him. We're drinking. Someone had a Dark Lord, all these guys were from New York and Connecticut, so there's tons of like Treehouse and everything. And when they tasted the Pickle Barrel, they went crazy for it.
Awesome.
And then we told them like just how little of it there was, and they couldn't believe it. Yeah, they like no, they need to make this more and more and more.
Well, little selfish moment here. We got our cucumber Kolsch coming out June 1st.
I love the cucumber Kolsch.
And so we still have some of that. Well, a new run of the Pickle Barrel, so we'll have that in Bombers. We'll have that on tap on June 1st when we bring out the cuke.
Nice. I love the cucumber Kolsch.
It's so good. I would say for anybody that doesn't like beer to at least try the cucumber Kolsch, because it tastes slightly like beer, but just like the cucumber, you can definitely taste it. It's a great beer for
like
summer.
a malty cucumber water.
Oh man, it's so good.
So well said.
Yeah, it is like the definition of a lawnmower beer.
It's really
perfect.
Good.
Yeah, crisp,
when I go back
refreshing.
home, when I go back up to Monticello, my parents live on the lake, and it's my perfect lake beer. If you're on a boat, or you're just sitting around in the sun, it is
definitely
one of my favorites.
So it's June 1st. That'll be back.
June 1st.
Will you guys be like putting that in growlers at all? Will you have it on tap in the tap room, put it in growlers, or are you just going to bottle it? Or
it's our next kind of seasonal route coming out. So I've got about 110 barrels of it sitting in a fermenter right now. I'm going to filter that actually on Thursday. Put it in cans in about 2 weeks. We're doing 12-ounce cans this year of the cucumber
nice.
Oh, man, I was going to say.
Better.
Oh, shit. It's not going to be in time for the track, though.
Yeah.
I was going to say, for the track, that would be a good track beer.
Yeah, but 4th of July.
Or 4th of July, too. Yeah. But it won't be out for it till June 1st, so you'll have to wait until after the race to get it.
Yeah.
But it's
that
really,
sounded very sad, sir.
I'm really sad. I was like, ooh, that's a great track beer. Wait, no.
We just ran through a whole roller coaster of emotions with
Yeah,
Sarah.
wow. It's coming out.
Yeah.
It's only like 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away.
I know.
It's
I
wild.
can't wait.
Coming down the pipes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to it. Sean, can't thank you enough for joining us here today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
yes,
thanks for bringing me in. It's
Yeah.
fun.
You're excellent.
Thanks,
Just in everything you do. You're
Thanks,
great.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. You
Are we
guys-
like supposed to pretend like we don't see each other all the time?
I did just see Sean on Saturday, so yeah.
Well, I didn't see either of you on Saturday, so I know.
Thank God.
I know, right?
I had good beer in my backpack, too.
I had good beer, too.
I had some Rheingeist. I had some 18th Street. My buddy Bobby we snuck in bombers from Yellow Springs Brewing Company.
You were so far away, though.
And Yellow Springs is, it's probably like 30 minutes south of, no, not even that. It's just outside of Dayton.
Okay.
Really small town. It is where Dave Chappelle lives.
Wow.
Yeah, on the Fuck Hollywood Ranch.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's a little artsy, one stoplight community with great restaurants, and a brewery opened up there a while back.
Well, you guys were on the same side of the track, like completely opposite of me, so I wasn't about to make the trek over there. Sorry, Sean shot me down.
Sucks to suck. You could have had some Rheingeist or some Ed PA.
That's all right. I had some Weizengut, so I'm good.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about does it for us today. What is this, episode 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 11.
Nice.
All right.
One too early.
I know.
Oh, man.
Come on.
Sarah, you
Oh.
really bumped that up.
Gosh, next time you'll be on Monday at 11.
I see Serendipity all the time. Hinch was in Garage Bay number 12. I was down in the garage. So. Wonder if he asked for that. I'm hoping he did.
So cheesy.
Yeah, gotta cheese it up. That's our brand.
Oh man. But seriously, if you guys haven't tried the Hinchtown Hammer Down or the Bricks, you need to
Get you some
before it's out because it is good.
That's right.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Sean Mannahan, great to see you as always.
Good to be in here.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. We'd love to have you back. For Sarah Burns,
Yes.
I'm Adam Schick. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.